Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2.
You sh
Yeah.
you should see the messages I get after every call. It's like, oh, here's the summary note of today's call. Oh, here's a summary note of today's call. I'm like, what?
Yeah, what the hell? No, so.
Oh man, I was showing the video to my kids with the music, your voice, and the from the Van AI event.
Oh yeah?
Dude, that was
That's
so
funny.
cool. Like the way
That's
Dr.
funny.
Patrick put it together,
That's
that was
funny.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Hmm. Ah,
Oh, there he is. What's up, Mozilla fellow?
Maybe. What's up?
good
This
day.
is crazy, man. This is nice.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise in the old inbox this morning.
Oh, fuck?
I got to do some work.
Oh no. What do you get?
If I get selected, you get 125K.
Oh, for real?
Wow,
Yeah. Yeah. So in a year to basically work on your project. Yeah.
that's
Wow.
awesome. Good luck.
Yeah. Thanks.
That's fucking awesome, man. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, good luck.
I got to work on my pitch. I don't have to submit it till February, so I got some time.
Yeah, how many people do they get every year?
I think they said that they pick around 10, but I don't know how many that they not like this nominations they give. I'm not sure.
Damn, brother, that's huge, man. That's huge.
That would
That
be
is
awesome.
freaking huge. Yeah, that'll be awesome. What's up, Emin?
Hi, how are you?
All good, all good. Welcome in. Well, it's time to get swarmed to work, eh? Never been a better time, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's like a universe speaking to you right there.
Yeah, I know, totally.
Oh, wait up. Let me start recording this because I want to make sure that I have it just
It said
so
recording started already, no?
it did, right? Like I just don't want.
Yeah, it looks like I see the recording thing
Yeah.
flashing up right now. Right.
Yeah, but it's what I'm saying. Like I just don't want to make it failed on me before, and then like Chris comes back and he's like, "Well, what about the feed?" Because Chris is a whole thing in life in BCAI is feeding this BCAI machine, right? Like, and these are extremely important for the rations, for the weekly rations.
Cool.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these, especially with you showing some stuff up today, Matt. So like, that's definitely something that I want to make sure that we are getting. Right. I am also recording other than Zoom just so that we have a fail safe,
Back up.
yeah, backup,
Smart.
and we should be good to go. Let me send a final warning that we have just started as well. Always good.
So funny around Christmas time the numbers dwindle, right? Ever so slowly. It's like and then comes like second week of January, it's like boom.
Yeah, yeah. New year. Yeah, everyone's like reset, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Gustavo's here.
What's up, Gustav?
Never comes. He was like, yeah, so Chris is not coming out. Definitely. What the hell? Why are you like that, Gustavo? Come on. Hey,
Hey, Dimitri.
Dimitri. Happy
Hello.
Friday.
Yep.
Same to you, everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
It was good to see some of your faces at the event a couple of nights
In,
ago.
indeed, indeed. Lots of awards were thrown out the room.
Very cool. Very deserving people got those awards.
Yeah.
Man, that was fun. That was really fun. I was not expecting. It was super quick too, eh? Like we're getting used to like these long ass debates that start happening by 8:30 and never end by
Yeah.
10. And then like it was really short and sweet and like, hey, here's the people, here's the awards, here's what we're gonna do next year. So, all right, bye. And then I
Oh,
was like, wow, that's different. That's
those
a award show that goes short. That's amazing.
Those
Revol
cookies are fantastic too, man. I gotta say,
Wait, they
darn.
slap.
Yeah.
I'll let my daughter know. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah. Please do.
They're good. They're really good, man. All right. Well, I have sent out another warning, but I think we might start with just the six of us. What's on your mind, gentlemen? It's Friday, yet another week has passed. A bunch of stuff happened. I'm seeing news everywhere. We got the awards. Dimitri, why don't you why don't you start us off? What do you got in mind?
Um, I had a so at the event there was there was a brief mention of somebody who is into fashion
Oh yeah.
and and AI, and just because I'm dabbling a little bit on the side with a friend of mine who's got the leather belt company going. He's pulling me into the fashion line of things, and went out to an event, and it's a fun gathering. You have a bunch of designers and some
Mhm.
models, and everybody's dressed like in some of the space movies you see.
It's
Um,
fun, yeah.
but it kind of got me thinking, okay, well, how can fashion, at least the way we see it now, how do we think it may change with the help of AI? Like, are we talking about um, dresses that will change colors? I mean, that's already out there,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to kind of throw it out there and see what people think, how that may change the whole fashion industry.
That's a good thought. Like in my opinion, it's impacted just the way that every other creative industry is, right? Like all of a sudden you have the possibility of prototyping super quick. You have like generating concepts at light speed, like and that type of thing. Like there's so many cool things that I've been seeing with textile, like it's not even textile because it's completely virtual, but like just shapes and forms, being tested out because you can test it. You don't need the actual material to exist yet. So those things for me, they always bring up, not only the curiosity exists when you're generating it, but then it prevails when you're like trying to find out how to actually execute it. It's like we always knew mobile phones were coming, right? Like Star Trek always had them. It's like once one person put it in our minds, like it had to happen. Like a handheld device that you just take everywhere and you communicate through, and like you can ask help and you can ask like same as the computer. Star Trek was right about so many things. What the fuck? But like their computer, their AI, it's way better aligned than ours, than what we're getting right now, at least. It was my thing is to be a computer. We weren't looking into consciousness, we weren't looking into humanity into it. It was just a computer. It was like, okay, compute, give me all of the information about this topic. But yeah, going back to fashion, I think that the main thing is just being able to create so many generations, like work on the concept side of things is really cool. Just yeah.
Right, yeah.
Well,
I agree. I have thoughts on it too. Like when you say concepts, I think it's the ideation phase, right? And
Yeah.
this applies to like any type of creative pursuit. Like the real obvious one that like we're all doing right now is like using AI to actually generate the outcomes. But I think there's also the possibility of using AI to generate ideas, right? Or generate the concepts. And then like what's to stop a fashion designer to or any type of designer from rapidly generating ideas, but then even taking that back into sketches,
Yeah.
like for ideas of color, form, shape ideas, right? Like it doesn't mean that the AI has to output the actual outcome for the design. It can just be a piece in the chain to getting to the
mhm.
design, right? So yeah.
Precisely, man. Like I just put a little link here for our discussion. I'm gonna show it on the video here but This is the developers of Baldur's Gate. At one point, one of them, one of the executives mentioned that, like, yeah, like we're gonna give free will to our to our artists and devs to use AI whatever way they want to. And immediately the whole like game industry turned into them and like, so you're using AI on your games, like, and he's trying to explain like, no, like concept artists use Google. They use before Google, they used to use almanacs and encyclopedias. Like there's always a place for you to get reference. Using
Hmm.
AI to create reference, to create like concept generation. Like you have an idea and then you ask AI, hey man, like do this idea in iron, wood, leather, and this, and then you see the result, and you're like, oh, this is a cool direction, and it can inspire creativity, and it can actually fuel creativity,
Exactly.
and like I think people are. I have a very hot take, but I'll hold that for the end of this discussion. But actually, no, I'm just gonna drop it now. Fuck.
Drop it.
But the hot take is that people are just pissed to realize that the easiest thing that AI could reproduce real quick was art.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They're like, they can't believe it. Like everybody that's saying, hey, please, like, we wanted AI for the cure of cancer and shit like that. And like, but AI is doing poetry instead. Yeah, because it turns out it's easier from the database that we're feeding it. Oh
Hmm.
shit. Like all of the
Yep.
hard questions are still being developed. Like AI is being used as a tool to help us get to those, objectives and solutions and endpoints. While one may say that like an artist is the end, like the art of an artist is that endpoint already. So there's a bunch of endpoints of a bunch of different artists out there, and we're feeding that, and it made sense of it way quicker and way easier than we would think. And then we're pissed because as human, we're like, oh shit, that's my field. Oh no. Like, how can that be the easy thing to do?
That
It's not
that
that we're trying, right? Like, it's not, we didn't set up, like, we set up, we're going to do AI and we're going to find the cure for all of these crazy things. But the easiest applications were actually the ones that we weren't looking for. So that's fucked up. And I think people are not really acknowledging that fact, like, yeah.
so I'll share something with you. I had a call yesterday from a very pleasant person that I've dealt with in the past, and what she does is she specializes in taking images of empty rooms of properties that I sell and then putting and staging it, virtually staging it. And she called me up and she said, "Hey, we have this great sale. It's only $18 per image, which is incredibly low. Usually it's $35 to $50 per image." And I said to her, um, I kind of, gave her a little, well, I've shared my concern about that, the whole industry. You can take an image of an empty room, stick it into ChatGPT or whatever, and it's going to place furniture and it's going to look great.
Hmm.
And she said to me, "Well, you know what? We take different angles from the same room, and AI is not capable of making it all look the same. And maybe at this point she is right, but I think in the very near future, that's all going to change, and so." Because of that, I suspect that's going to be another industry that's going to go through dramatic changes.
I saw when was that a couple days ago on X a video like AI showing every single step of a renovation of a house, like every single like change what it was supposed to like perfect timeline. Like of course on workers just changing what it was going to look like, and
Hmm.
it is perfect. It was beautiful to see that renovation, old house to a new one. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yo, we got a full room now. Let's go around and say hi. What's up, Lawrence? What's up, Martin, Chris, Rob, Ash? How you doing? Please say hi and tell us how does Chris put it? How you show up today? How you showing up today? In, in honor of Chris, let's do what he likes to do. Oh, do
Yeah,
I
I was
need to
gonna say,
point out?
I don't know if I should go first because I actually don't know how to interpret that. How are you showing up today? My name is Martin. I've been part of this community for a couple months now, doing the in-person events. This is the first time that I could actually make it work during the workday. But I work in professional services in the AI space, so do AI product and project development for companies. Been at it for like 15 years. Um, yeah, how am I showing up today? A lot of meetings, waiting for the weekend.
Yep.
Trying to trying to be inspiring. Um, yeah, I've been little bit enthusiastic. I guess that's how I'll choose to interpret it. So like what's been exciting today in particular, looking at pretty interesting movement in the UK regulatory space on
Oh,
AI specifically. So there's some pretty interesting movement around the way that Ireland and the UK in general might be making some noise around a deviation from the European sort of posture right now. And so reading about that, and I think that's very positive. I'll
that's crazy. Do you have any
pass the
links?
mic to
Did you
someone
share
else.
that?
Yeah, I'll find a link.
Let's go. I would love to listen to
Yeah.
hear more about that for sure. That's awesome. What up, Chris?
Yo, Zara, how you doing, man?
Doing great, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, good. It was I always feel good after attending one of the community meetups, so I'm a little bit bummed that I won't make Surrey next week, but had good time on Wednesday and the silver lining is I'll be going out to see my little guy up in Bella Bella at my First Nation, so it's for a good reason that I get to see Surrey, but yeah, no, I always look forward to these too, yeah, even if I don't really have anything to share too much. So that's how I'm showing up today. And I just got some Christmas shopping to do after that. So my mind's in
Fair.
the clouds a little bit. And then the girlfriend's called dibs on me before I go up to Bella Bella. So I got to make sure like I'm, you know, ready to see her and give her her Christmas gift too. So I have to go buy that. But just thinking about like our work, like I feel again a little bit like holiday heads in the clouds and like as we were talking, like I'm in the process of locking up a fairly major like client to start off the new year, and that'll be more in like the indigenous governance realm and government to government relations and kind of outside the tech. I hope I can bring some of my tech, insights and capabilities into this role. So I'm kind of thinking a lot about that, like how I can talk to a less like tech savvy but also tech friendly crowd, hereditary chiefs, a lot of people who are in their older years and try to parse out from like a project manager view and almost like a CIO type of role how they can adopt and benefit from tech like AI, bigger sort of data management processes and really anticipating that like most AI projects turn into data management projects or data governance projects and how that can intersect with things like negotiating government to government agreements or working between industry and community and things like that. So I'm kind of getting that into my headspace, but also, not working 50 hours this week, busting my ass trying to find some work or contracts or whatnot. So I'm taking it a bit more easy and working more like a standard day instead of dawn till dusk sort of shit. So feeling good.
That's awesome. Bro, th this has not a lot to do with AI specifically, but it's tech applied on your area. I don't know if you saw it. I was working at 2K at the start of the year still when we launched Civilization 7. And one of the coolest things about that project, not only it's a great game, but like the coolest thing about that project specifically for Civ 7 was that they got the Tecumseh and the Shawnee in, and
Mhm.
they actually added the whole language into the game. And
Mhm.
then the oh, for real, Matt, I can get you some codes later on. It's a good game. I like it. But they were able to like they created a whole studio in the Shawnee Nation, and then they like they made that studio for that specific objective, but at the end, the idea was to keep it there so that the storytelling and the horror oral like history and myths would like were kept like they kept recording and kept adding to a library of Shawnee and Tecumseh. So
Mhm.
that's a very cool case for you to just check it out because it's
Mhm.
again it's on the side, it's tech, it's not really active or like coming in and changing things, but at the same time is like creating this whole library that you can later on train. Like now civilization has the Shawnee language being spoken by the very few expert that still exist, and the
Mhm.
pronunciation is perfect and everything else like the meanings, the translation, everything else is super perfectly well captured. And I think that's the value of that is kind of nuts that you can do that as well. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it'll get love out there. Uh, there are quite a few, myself included, like native guys that love to game out and geek out with Civ. Some of my cousins we talk about. I still like five, but I started out with
Yeah.
two, and I go back to three and four still. But I love that and like the integration of more knowledge. It's such a cool game for like exposure to
Yeah.
ideas and all that jazz. So that's that. I could geek out with you the next time we run
Yeah,
into each other on that one for sure,
for
buddy.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let me pass it back to Lawrence. What's up, man?
Good, bro. How you doing?
Oh, good. Oh, good. Tell us
Yeah.
more about your week or your AI month and how you
Uh,
showing up as well.
it's been going pretty well. I've been with the Chris and the volunteer group for 16 months, and it's been going pretty well. Chris reached out to me and was like, "Yo, come join us in the BCAI group." I was like, "Sure, why not?" Well, during the week, like on normal days, I work with the Huge Hardware. It's an AI company, a personal AI company that tries to agentic AI for personal use here in downtown, and they've been doing their stuff for a while now.
I,
Then on the
I lost the
side,
I lost the last part. Sorry. Agentic AI that does what? Sorry.
for personal use, like home
Oh,
assistant,
okay. Okay.
sending emails, and the rest, just like personal use. Yeah.
Got it.
They're on the side, we are working on this autonomous robotics. Basically, what they do is object detection, object following, navigation, localization, and the rest. So we still have a better phase. They're just testing it out and seeing how it goes from there.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
Well,
my week. Yeah.
that's awesome. Well, whenever you have a link for us to test it out as well, just send stuff on
Yeah.
the
Okay.
chat, and we'll all we'll all definitely
Yeah.
help you
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
beta users, man.
Yeah. But it's a hardware, so
Oh
you
shit.
kind of like, yeah, kind of like
Well,
have a
send one over my
physical
house. It's
Yeah. Sure, of course. Probably 2026
yeah, yeah,
would
that's
be
awesome.
better. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome to hear, man. All
Yeah.
right. Well, Emin,
Yep.
how you doing,
Uh,
man?
this month, actually, I've been into agent chains the first time. I'm trying to mimic the product development lifecycle with more than 10 agents, but it's getting messy every other day. And I feel a little bit regretful. I learned a lot. Um, I want to share something about the community, the BCI.
Cool.
Of course, there are lots of good size of it, and I've been experiencing it for like 2 months. I'm here for the last two events,
Mhm.
and I want to mention the downside of the this community for me because I was already feeling a lot of uh, anxious and overwhelmed.
I already
I
see where
was
you're going with. Yeah.
yeah, there are millions of things in AI, and I'm stuck. And even in my dreams, I always see AI related things. And after I joined this group, and I realized the thing that I know that I don't know, was maybe the 5% of the whole
Oh
universe. So
no.
I was even drowning in that 5%. I was feeling like, okay, what the hell am I gonna do? And now you guys help me to understand, okay, there is way more. And sometimes I also feel regretful.
Yeah.
Just kidding, but yeah, that
No,
yeah,
that's totally
that's the
valid, man.
pain.
I feel it too. I feel it too. I'm with you, man. Like, you know what? I had to start choosing lanes, man. Like I'm only gonna check about this type of thing now because
Yep.
like everyone comes in with a different approach, and we have people in pharmaceuticals, and we have people in the agro industry, and we have
Yeah,
people like it's overwhelming. But at the same time, you know what? It's like a good hub because you don't have to go after that information. That information comes to you somehow. It ends up coming to you. And then when you're talking to other people who think they're like, super experts in AI, you go like, oh yeah, but have you seen this, approach? And they're like, how the fuck do you know that? Well, like, there's a guy in my group and he's at the top of the pharmaceutical companies and he's been studying AI. And there's a guy in my group who's doing like condos in the space. What the fuck?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but the
So
FOMO is real. You're right, man.
yeah.
And Rob was super quiet. I think he put his spiel
I'm
on the
here.
chat.
Hey,
Cheating,
Zaro, how
man.
you doing?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Interesting week. I've had two meetings with two First Nations. So I signed a contract with Homolko First Nations up in Comox Valley for some potential aquaculture consulting. But in our
Oh.
discussion, they realized that my background's a little more diverse than just the aquaculture stuff because it was an ag guy, but also led into something maybe possibly for Chris because they're looking for a AI expert for the citizens, the youth who are disillusioned and feel that there's no hope for them in the world, and they believe that AI is going to help them level the playing field. So they're looking for an AI, somebody to potentially develop an AI course for the people within the nation. And then on the other meeting, I had a meeting with the chief of the Capilano First Nations here in the North Shore, and he also was asking for an AI. So, Chris, I just sent you a message in chat here. Um, but I'd love to see if there, yeah, I know you're going away for Christmas, but to see if there's an appetite to connect you with Chief Darren in the Homolko and the hereditary chief here in Capilano Band and see what you can do. There may be some contract work for you there. I think Homolko might be an interesting one. I really like Chief Darren and what they're doing. So that's that. Also, that for you guys who may not know, Canada is launching its largest trade mission in history to Mexico, which includes AI and technology. So they're recruiting about 600 businesses from Canada to meet with about 1,000 businesses in Mexico. And why I bring this up is because Frizaro, one of my counterparts was on this meeting was from Brazil, and she was asking. She's going from Brazil to Mexico to meet with the Canadian companies down there. Also, that same person said, I'm thinking about coming from Brazil to the Web Summit. Is there in
Oh.
what are we doing with AI in the Web Summit? And I'm supposed to get back to her, knowing I had this meeting on Friday, and Zaro, that you would probably be here.
Yeah.
If you guys know of anything that I can refer her to, and because at the end of the day, I think they I don't know if they want to emigrate out of Brazil to Canada, but they're really looking for ways to connect with Canada, in particular the Web Summit and AI and all that kind of thing. So not
What's
sure
what's their
if you know.
company about? Do you know?
You know what, Zara? I was hoping to give that to you today, but she was supposed to. We never
Oh.
connected on LinkedIn. I'm going to get it and then I'll forward it to you because I know you and I are connected. Because I think
Yeah,
she should meet you, and to see if there's an opportunity. Okay, cool.
for
Other
sure,
than
for sure.
that, I am getting ready to leave to Mexico next week for 5 weeks. I'll be calling in virtually. I'll have the same. I won't show you the swimming pool I'm at while I'm talking to you guys. So I'll take it easy on you, but looking forward to that.
Well, thank you for not showing the swimming pool and the beautiful weather, man. Like that really helps. You know what?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I moved here for this. That was the whole point. I came from Brazil to this and I wanted exactly that. So
Wow.
I'm getting what I
And you
want.
know what? My friends from Ilhabela from Brazil moved. They said they couldn't handle the sun anymore. They
Yeah.
needed some cloud. They needed 4 seasons. They hated
Yeah,
it.
exactly. That's you have no idea. You have Matt, you have no idea how weird it is to live your whole life in one season.
Yep.
Like the light is always it's always dark at 6 p.m.
It's
and
the
it's
same
always
every
light
day.
at 6 a.m.
Yes.
every single
Yeah.
day
I always
of the
thought
year.
that would be like a nice thing, but maybe that's because I haven't experienced it.
It's
Oh my
because
God.
yeah,
It sounds nice because you are not there.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. After a couple of years, you're like, oh shit, like,
It's not bad. It's not
yeah.
bad, but this season change is I to me it is much nicer and I don't know. I don't know how to explain. It's just like
I know.
I grew up in that one, so
It's
it's
just it's
different.
just a different connection to
Yeah.
nature and time.
Yep.
Time passes in a like you remember the time pass. You know that every season has a purpose. Like Brazil, everything's the same season, bro. Like you don't know when the time is passing. You're like, oh, is it Christmas already? I don't know. Let me go dive into the pool
Well,
again. And then
it's
like
hot
it's
and
hot,
it
and then
rains
in the
and it
in
is exactly the same.
Uh,
and in the winter is the same. It's like,
The
oh, is it
same.
winter? Whatever.
yeah.
I
But
think we should have an exchange program between Brazil and Canada. Seriously, Matt and
Absolutely.
I are going to go down to
yeah,
Brazil. You guys get your butts up here. We're
Yeah.
yeah,
doing this.
Armin, I'm on with you on that one, man. I love
Right
it.
on, brother.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, since you're saying that, Armin, how about you? I
Oh, darn
realize
it. I
you're the
wasn't going to
only one
say anything. I
that.
was going to go on mute. No. No, it's interesting. So as I was listening to Emin, I do have to agree, and I think I shared my sentiment a little bit as well. I am starting to feel like the group is getting so much bigger, and I'm having a much more difficult time following and staying connected with people on the same level as I did when I joined at the beginning of the year. So I do feel that pain. But to Zoro's point, I'm starting to pick and choose as to what I do want to connect with and what makes sense for me and what I'm passionate about. So I do encourage you, Emin, to do the same as well. Um, the to Rob's point, actually, so I'm going to share a quick story with you guys. I met this 18-year-old young man out of Emily Carr, and we started chatting, and he was absolutely 100% hopeless about what future looks like. And it kind of broke my heart. And I started asking him, okay, so where's that coming from, right? And it's the world economy, it's the wars that are going on, but mainly it was AI and how Emily Carr professors and instructors are coming down really hard on the students who even for exploration purposes, are generating ideas as to what art should look like or be like in the future. And he was scared. He was genuinely scared. He goes, well, I can't figure it out on my own. I need to learn, and yet I'm being told that I'm not allowed to use technology to learn. And I was like, wow. So I started talking to him and I said, look, it's not hopeless. You know, all of us at different age groups, we have experienced different challenges. I mean, I remember when I graduated from university, we were going through the dot-com bust, and then we went through telecom bust, and there was
Yeah.
the housing bust, right? Then we had COVID, and we had all these things. I had that, all these things in between, and there were a lot of hopeless moments in my personal life. So I tried to share that with him and say, you know, you will come out of it stronger on the on the other end, but you have to be patient, and you have to really pursue what you're passionate about. So I thought I'd share that with you guys as well, that the fear of AI is real, and
Hmm.
especially when schools and for the lack of sanity, these educational institutions are drilling into students' heads that getting creative ideas from other sources is wrong. I don't, maybe I'm just stupid. Maybe I
No,
don't get
they
it,
feel
but
it's a threat, Armin. They look at as academics looks as AI as a threat,
mm,
direct threat to them. And I've heard it from my friends who were professors at UBC that teach other things that are in the medical. They see the other professors see it as a direct threat to their career.
So Rob, let me ask you this. So are we on the wrong side of the conversation? Right? I'm just really because I'm thinking of the academics and the politicians and Matt and Chris, please feel free to jump in. I'm really curious to know if these big thinkers, the artists and the poets and the philosophers and everybody else is looking at from the other side and saying we are a threat, that AI is a threat to creativity, are we preaching something that maybe
No,
I don't know. What do you guys think?
no. I think whenever there's a big shift in creativity, those with the most to lose are generally those that are the most unhappy with it.
Absolutely agree with 100% Matt with you on that one. Yeah,
Hmm.
and
I
I
mean,
also think
but their point, I'm
yeah,
sorry, but their point is the human race has much to lose. So like that's how they put a lot of pressure in the conversation is by like, I'm not losing because I'm an artist. You're losing because you're human and you're losing art. It's
Hmm.
sort to say.
I think
But
it's
then again, I'll go back to what I said at the start of the conversation. I think they just didn't realize it yet that like
yeah,
maybe we are putting way too much,
it's it circles
it's hard for me to say that because I'm an artist.
yeah.
I was grown up and as a professional artist from 9 to 20 somethings,
Hmm.
but the reality is maybe it's easier than we were giving us ourselves too much credit for
Hmm.
it. I don't know.
It
Hmm.
circles back to what we were talking to at the beginning of this conversation, right? Where it's like when used in the right way, like you need to educate yourself, right? Like when you're using it
Yes.
to expand your ideation to improve your outcomes,
Yeah.
Hmm.
take a matter with that, right?
yep.
Like just Armin, if you're still in contact with the guy you were talking about, I was at Emily Carr a couple weeks ago, sitting on a panel for his class of design for startups is the course,
Hmm.
and all the students were essentially the task of the course was to like basically create a pitch for a startup, but he was highly encouraging them to use AI within that that work and not just to create AI products, but like to use AI in their workflow. And
Hmm.
they honestly they blew me away. Like because I wish they actually talked more about how they use AI in the workflow. It was more very much like here's my business pitch, but the ones that did, I'm like, I was working with a Vancouver startup for about a year that had just ended the previous week, and I was embedded. And I'm like, you guys are using AI in your workflow more so than seniors that I was just working with last week. Like this is very impressive.
Wow.
And it was really encouraging because I'm like, the kids are figuring it out. Like
Yeah.
it's not like and they're embracing it and they're not using it to replace their outcomes. They're using it to enhance their ability,
Enhance.
right? So anyhow,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that person is a designer or if they're like
No, this was just literally a passing at a coffee shop. We just started chatting, sitting side by side, and he was kind of curious as to what I was doing on my laptop, and so I kind of shared with him. But it did break my heart, right? It is a challenging time, and here we are, instead of telling or teaching others how to use the technology for the betterment of the world, because God knows humans are a lot worse than the technology itself, but you know, instead of saying, hey, let's solve the biggest problems that our world has using the technology, and yet this 18-year-old was absolutely hopeless. I'm not joking when I say broke my heart. He was in near tears,
Hmm.
right? And it's like trying to figure out at such a young age, do I do it, go against the professors, or don't I do it? And those are hard life choices that one has to make at that early stage.
Yeah. Bro, you know what? I spend hours watching those Japanese carpenters that do construction without nails. There's always space for classic knowledge and classic technical mechanical stuff. So it's about choosing what you want to learn and what you want to pass on. And as a just a final point to Matt, sorry, Chris, to interrupt you, but like I think that the problem is not AI. The AI, as Matt said, is a great tool that you can have. The problem is that people do not trust other people's critical critical knowledge or
Right.
critical thinking, right? Like it's like people are not ready. They're just gonna believe everything.
Yes.
But the reality is we just have to train ourselves to be a little bit more critical of everything. It's
Yes.
like, hey, AI is giving me an idea and it's shit.
Yes.
Hey, AI, it's shit. Let's try it again. Like that's what artists are really good at doing that.
Yeah.
They're gonna generate 100 images and they'll say, none of this is good. And they're
Yeah.
gonna keep going. And then they're gonna find something actually beautiful at one point. But
Yeah.
the casual, the 18-year-old is like, he's seeing a full video on X and saying, oh, this is so well made, we're cooked. But the reality is they don't know how much time it takes to make a video consistent. It's still fucking a lot of work. It's still just two. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Sorry.
no, I
think
totally agree. And just to close it off with what I am showing up today. So this week I learned from AI what one of my shortcomings in life has been. And I'm very appreciative of it. So I'll explain to you what it was. So I was supposed to create this report that has to do with and automation integration into one of my clients' processes. And I thought I knew everything about this. So I put everything together and then I went to AI, Gemini specifically, and said, hey, have a very careful look of this coming from this angle, taking on this persona. Explain to me if I missed anything. And I gotta tell you, man, it identified areas that I didn't even think about including in the report, and I was very appreciative of it. So that's how I'm showing up today.
That's awesome. Yeah, I
Uh,
do that all the time too, Armin.
yeah,
Like, what? Show me the blind spots in my thinking.
yeah. Is that crazy how many blind spots we got though? It's great. Anyway, sorry. I'll go back on mute. Thank
Chris, you had something. My bad. I cut you
Oh
the
no,
first
it's all
time.
good. I just wanted to jump in on that combo because it was really good. I definitely take the skeptic sort of take to AI and its deployment, but I think contextualizing the technology is really important, and that people kind of, sometimes they hate the player instead of the game or whatever, and so
That's it.
they're I think a lot of what people are afraid of is not necessarily the tech. I mean, when I hear people rail against AI, it's like the same people that were pissed off about like the Texas Instruments calculators, like
Yeah.
shortcutting maths and stuff like that, right? Like it's not you're not putting the toothpaste back into the tube, but I
Nope.
think it's like the capitalist context and like a mistrust of the companies that are deploying this. I'll fight people over whether or not we have AGI. I think that's all hype right now. I think our AI is rather narrow and dumb. But regardless, it's how we put it out there and how we contextualize it, market it, and whatnot. And that stuff is starting to like freak people out. I deal mostly with non-tech people. And it's like, okay, we're not yet at AGI, but there's just pure raw compute power that's being thrown at agentic workflows that are going to simulate AGI kind of thing, as well as like the idea that AI reduces the costs and increases the accessibility to do highly technical work that has the appearance of being very skilled and highly technical, classy work. But that also like increases the ability to abuse it in the sense that like because there's reduced costs and increased access, then more people can come in. And sometimes when I hear people talk about doing like, full out AI animation and stuff, I'm like, do you really want to like become more productive, or are you just looking for ways to putting your direct competitors out of work, which is your peers, and you're just trying to join the Bezoses of the world, or the Amazons of the world as the big bads, not thinking about what it's going to do to your colleagues at the ground level kind of thing, right? And then lastly, just information collapse. If we just keep using AI for generated content and information, eventually we'll be training AI on AI generated content, which, where do we go from there?
Slop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are great points, man. That's really well put. I think that the second point there hit me. I have to think more about it too. Like the whole objectives of things. I think that like everybody is having a ball exploring all the possibilities. Like you said animation. I just did one yesterday for a challenge that is paying out something. And like, yeah, I'm doing this because well, first of all, it's fun. Second of all, it's interesting for me to learn how to do it. But am I opening a media agency that's doing everything AI? Not really right now. I'm not putting anyone out of, out of work. But I don't know. There's much to think about it. Thanks for sharing that. That's a good thought. Right. I just looked at the clock and I realized that I cut you short, Matt. So I'm gonna give the floor to Matt. He's gonna present some cool shit for us. I've been waiting for this. So
Good.
not to raise expectations. Yeah.
I can do it in 10 minutes probably. All right. I'm going to share my screen here. Where is the share screen button? There it is. Where is the right? I'm just going to share everything. You guys see that okay?
I see a zoom. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, see it. Whoops. There we go. Cool. You guys, are you seeing the cover slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Okay, cool. Yeah, so first off, thanks to Chris for asking me to come and do a quick chat about this project I've been working on since around May of this year. It's called Swarm. And before I dive into it, just to give you guys a little bit about myself, if you don't know much about my background, I've been working as a designer for about 25 years now, primarily at software startups, also larger enterprise software companies and stuff too. Started my career at EA for a couple of years working in QA. I'm also though a lifelong creator, musician, visual artist. Cardio Creative is my design studio. That's my primary work nowadays. I work closely with startups, generally early stage. What I'm sharing here today with Swarm is it isn't a case study or a framework pitch. It's a way that is working that has emerged through these years. So let's jump into it. I have some notes here. This is my first time talking about this, so bear with me. Instinct versus structure. So throughout my career, I have relied heavily on instincts. They generally have served me well, but at times it's been hard to communicate my ideas, the vision, the bigger picture beyond, especially working at software companies. Um, so back earlier this year, I decided I wanted to explore more of like a structure that would allow me to move with intent while maintaining that creativity and not losing that initial spark. So Swarm emerged when trying to balance these two forces, instinct and structure. Swarm is a loop. So a loop is a single pass through the work. So it's made up of five phases: spot, weigh, arrange, refine, and make. Spot is where you go to initially find the signals, the friction. So like some examples. Actually, we can use this with Emin's question about not knowing where to focus. That's actually a great use case. So I'll try to weave that in a bit on the fly here. But an example in the software context might be like trying to find friction points in a user experience for why a product's not working. And more of a creative thing for and more of a positive focus might be if I'm wanted to create some music and spotting signals like different types of genres I might want to focus on, different instruments, different production techniques that I might want to use. So just essentially, it's a brainstorming step. In Emin's use case, it would be spitting out all of these different things you want to try, but you're not really sure where to start. Um, Once you've spotted all the signals, the next step is to weigh them. So, what has the highest impact? What has the highest energy? Like, what is resonating with you? So, in the software world, it would be like what has the most impact to say fix the UX? What has the most impact to potentially drive revenue for the product? For more of a creative pursuit, it might be something like this is a particular genre I've really wanted to write a song in, or this is a particular tool I've wanted to use to produce music. Um, I guess in Emin's use case, it would be something like maybe there's like a couple different tools that you've been hearing over and over again, and you're really interested in trying them. So they would have you would weigh them higher than the other aspects of whatever you've spotted. Once you've weighed everything, you move into the arrange phase, which is more about pattern spotting um, and seeing like where the different signals are connecting. So in this case, for software, it might be like a user flow, like arranging steps into a flow. In a music case, it might be something where I'm starting to group instruments together into to make into a song, perhaps, or even you could use it for lyric writing, right? You could have spotted a bunch of single lines of lyrics, or even for writing a blog post. A range is when you would then start to group the different lines together into a bigger piece that you may want to create. The fourth phase, refine. This is where you actually cut back and down to like start to reduce what you can actually make in a single loop. Um, so this would be, say, in a software context, maybe you've spotted multiple parts of a flow that need work, but you want to tackle them all at once. So you're going to refine down to the one that has the most impact to start at. It could also be refining down to decide that you need to learn more about a problem. So perhaps research is the outcome. In music, it could be something like I've picked 8 different instruments across 4 genres. I need to simplify this down to like a couple things that I can move forward with, which moves you into the final phase, which is make. What is a single thing, a step? What is something testable? Like I said, it could be a single improvement in an app. It could be um, the decision to go and build a prototype. It could be the decision to go and do research to learn more to inform future loops. Basically, movement here is the goal, not perfection. Each loop should advance the signal. Swarm is also a protocol. If a loop is something you run once, a protocol is what forms when you run enough loops. Over time, the work naturally moves from chaos, the initial chaos of trying to figure out what's going on. Emin's case is a good one of that. And then patterns begin to emerge as you start to do multiple loops on top of each other, which will lead to insights and eventually will lead to more clarity and that larger creation. So in the software example, that could be releasing a larger feature or perhaps an MVP. In the music example, that's maybe it's releasing a song or a collection of songs. For Emin, maybe it's finding a certain tool that really resonates and enables his workflow or whatever his goal is to achieve. Movement, or sorry, the goal is to move with intent here. Clarity emerges through repetition. So you don't start with clarity, you earn it. So yes, clarity isn't something you get up front. It's something that shows up after staying with the work and moving through the protocol and the process. Loops create the evidence, evidence creates signal. That's what clarity is eventually built upon. This reframes that uncertainty as part of the process, not a failure of it. So let's run through an example here. What does this actually look like? So I've decided to kind of walk through the visual language I've been developing for Swarm over the last 7 or 8 months now. One of the initial early loops here, up top left there, we have the initial Swarm identity. Um, if the goal of Swarm is to bring clarity out of chaos, this is actually kind of acting in as a contrast where I'm compressing the letter forms to make them harder to read. And then we have the blue prompt as to kind of communicate motion to the user to move forward. Below that is the color palette that I came up with for the brand, 7, 8 months ago. This is actually unchanged, so it shows how work that is even uncovered in early loops can carry forward into future work as clarity is emerging. Finally, I have just an example of an early brand visual. You can see there's the early emergence of the core visual pieces, which is the dot and the line elements used within the visual language. At this point, though, they're not overly remarkable, a little bit generic, perhaps. There's not really a lot of motion occurring, not super interesting. It's not reflecting the taming of chaos very well. As the signal continued to emerge, at this point, a theme started to surface. Chaos wasn't disappearing, it was being contained. So on the left here, you can see we still have the lines in more of a chaotic form, but they're contained within the circle. So that actual clarity is being set around the chaos. And to the right, a similar type of visual exploration where we have the chaotic lines in the background. We have a grid laying over top of them in structure, and then a single point of clarity in the middle. Um, when the pattern was repeated across the loops of exploring this, it stopped being an aesthetic with the single point of clarity and the containing of the chaos, and it started to become a signal that I was headed in the right direction. More recently, just actually this week, Clarity arrived, additional loops have been going on. The updated Swarm identity, I completed this at the beginning of the week. You can see that that contain chaos icon is still there, but it's more refined, it's more approachable, and it's just a better reflection versus the initial identity I'd done, 7 months ago when I, was still exploring exactly what Swarm meant. On the right-hand side, you can see a graphic that I created for a blog post on my Substack this week where um, this is actually based on a photograph I took walking around Ladner. So I'm starting to weave in my actual photography, which is adding to the authenticity of the work, which is one of the principles it's actually built on. We can see the kind of the abstract looping lines moving through the piece, but the most important part is that single point of clarity within this chaos that is emerging in the focal point. On a loop. So if you're interested in learning more, if this is resonating with you at all, I invite you to check out the website swarmloop.xyz. There you can download. There's actually an artifact called the Swarm Loop. It comes in two forms. It's a PDF, which is just a single page meant for like kind of napkin sketching, just rapidly like kind of working through ideas. And then there's a Fig Jam, which is a artifact for use in Figma, where you can, it's actually an interactive board for use as on your own, or you can use it with a team. There's prompts built into it to kind of move you through the phases of the loop. And yeah, you can work through it on your own. If you want to learn more about Swarm, I invite you to check out my Substack. I post articles once a week usually. I posted a couple this week. I've been having some more breakthroughs in my thinking lately, so I've been posting a little more. That's my studio, cardio.ca. All of Swarm Thinking is basically how I work with my clients. And my emails there. Feel free to reach out. You want to talk more? You can also obviously get me on WhatsApp, Discord. But yeah, more artifacts are on the way in 2026. I'm working on this. Continuing to run loops, continuing to work down the protocol, and let ideas emerge. So yeah, thank you.
Good shit, man. This is awesome. This is really cool. Thank you for running us through this. I wanna put it to test. I'm gonna send you a message on the side and see if we can make a pro. We've been talking about doing something together for a while.
Do it.
Let's use Swarm to make it happen, man.
Yeah, for
I
sure. Yeah.
have I
I'm
have
look,
something in mind specifically.
I'm looking for more like Chris had mentioned like doing a demo, and I'm like,
Yeah,
Swarm works best when you just do it, like whether on your
yeah.
own or whether like working together with me or something like that. Like that's the best way to understand, right? And I decided to keep this more high level. Like I know I've been kind of talking about this on other calls, probably like not super articulately because I'm still figuring it out myself. So I hope that this helped to get a bit better foundation of actually, the stuff I'm working on, where it's going. So
I think it's at least from what I've seen so far from your early rents and now seeing this presentation, it's like it's extremely elegant. It's an elegant way of dealing with the process. It's not
yeah.
even yeah, it's not even like doing something specifically. It's this elegant approach to process. So that's pretty cool. I
You know
like
what
it.
it really is? It's an anti-process because I
Yeah.
don't like process, and that's
Yeah.
kind of like the non-linear way to approach it. It's like it kind of ties in what we're talking about, right? Like creativity loops, right? And you want to be able to like loop and keep momentum and learn as you go and like see where it takes you, right? Like one of my frustrations working in software is often like very rigid process that does, ties the hands of creativity.
Yeah.
And often, like being a designer, often because you produce the final output of what it looks like, you often will like get the finger pointed at you when things don't work. And it's like, well,
Yes.
you know, I'm really, there's like a stack of things to get us here, right? And like, just because that's what people see, there's a lot of decisions that go on behind it, right? And
Hmm.
generally the best creative decisions come out of more of like a nonlinear loop approach versus milestone or like, waterfall, as they say. But anyway, yeah.
I love the acronyms. Honestly, I wrote them all down here. So absolutely fantastic. Totally relatable. Well done.
Thank you.
Love it. Yeah, we are about time. That was perfect, Matt. Like the delivery.
Gotta put it
That's
out there.
that's perfect timing. But I'm just like use the segue to point out like anyone here, any of us, if you see someone that has an idea or that has a process or something like what Matt just showed, like, come on, let's use these calls for this. It's a good test of your own idea.
Yeah.
It's a good way to experiment with your own like presentation,
Mm.
style and everything else. It's an audience, and we are also very critic, so we will give you some shit back as well.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's a
please
great
do.
place to experiment. So if you have anything, please let us know ahead of time, and we'll just separate some time for you guys. Like make a little block of time for you to present. Dimitri, I would love to hear more about the real estate tools as well. I know you're still building and it's been up, but like that's let's shoot the shit and test it. I think it's a good spot to test it out.
Wonderful.
Anywho, have a great weekend, everybody. I am going to stop at 1 p.m. sharp. This
Good
is
job,
great.
Zorro. Perfect.
Yeah,
Did a
look
great,
at that.
did a
Look
great.
at that.
Perfect.
Do we say happy holidays? Are we gonna meet up next week? What's going on?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'll just say happy holidays to everybody right away because
Awesome.
I know Christmas will be in the middle of the week, but I'm not sure if we're gonna have the next Friday. So yeah. All right,
How will you notify, or what's the
yeah, I'll let everybody know on the BCAI member channel just so that just check it out. Stay tuned, and I'll make sure to yeah to approve or disapprove it through the week. I'll
Perfect.
try to do it today just to make sure that everybody knows in in advance and can clear the. But yeah, all right.
All right.
Good
Merry
seeing you
Christmas,
all.
all you
Always.
guys.
Have a
Merry
good one.
Christmas to you too.
Cheers.
Ciao.
Cheers.
Take care.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.